From a forecaster standpoint, Hurricane Dorian is impressive.
It's just the size of it, the structure of it. I mean, it's something you call like a buzzsaw, perfectly symmetric hurricane.
But that symmetrical hurricane started rather sloppily.
And when it came through the Caribbean, it was kind of ragged. It wasn't even sure it was going to survive. Some of the models were hinting at it's coming into the Gulf of Mexico, and this system was just a mess.
Dave Nussbaum says it's a reminder of the unpredictable nature of storms. What forms early doesn't necessarily tell the future.
The same can apply for this year's hurricane season, which started slowly. According to researchers, from July 15th, which was right after Hurricane Barry, to August 18th, no named storms formed in the Atlantic. That hasn't happened in 20 years.
Peak of hurricane season is September 10th, so we're coming up to the peak, and you can tell by looking at the Atlantic, there's 5 systems right now that we're watching out there, one of them being Dorian, and one down in the Gulf of Mexico, too, that could be a tropical depression later this week.
Nussbaum says water temperatures are peaking. El Nino and its ability to knock down storms is no longer in play, and the sub-Saharan dust that drifted across the Atlantic earlier in the season is now gone. All of that could bring more storm activity this month. But for now, virtually the entire East Coast is keeping watch on the slow-moving disaster in the Atlantic. Tom Trung, Eyewitness News.
Again, the peak of hurricane season is September 10th, and that season goes all the way until November 30th.